interface, and you'll have to identify different parts, right, that I give you, right? You'll also have to make a couple different videos that do a couple different things, right? So maybe they zoom in and zoom out at 50%, and then they spin 5 times, and then they fade out, and all of that crazy kind of funky stuff, and then it fades into a title, and then a 5-minute or 5-second slip. I'll have you do stuff like that, right? So the first half of the exam, your computer does have to be on hibernate, because you will not be able to have your computer on and, you know, look for stuff. But the second half, and then you turn that into me, and then you create a couple different videos doing a couple different things. So that's the format of the exam. You'll have the whole class period to do it. Cool?
I'm sorry, I missed a little bit of that. So creating videos is part of the exam?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they have very specific requirements, each video. Okay. Cool? So I made a list of all the things that we covered, and the things that may or may not be on the test. So let's go through it. So if you want me to explain anything, just raise your hand. So FCP interface, you know, what does that mean exactly? Basically, this is the interface, right? You're going to have to identify it. Yeah? Browser, canvas, viewer, timeline.
No specific.
Browser, viewer, canvas, timeline.
There's, okay, just I think of the buttons and stuff.
Oh, no. So what I might have, you will most likely have to identify, you may or may not have to identify different buttons on the toolbar. Where's the razor tool?
Okay. But pretty much just what we've used, right?
Yeah, what you've used. Yeah, I'm not going to have anything. I'm not going to have any surprises. Yeah, so that's the Final Cut Pro interface. Also, you might have questions about, like, you know, which tab, which menu item will you go to make a subclick? And you would say, Ezra.
Which menu item? And did subclick go to the viewer? Modify.
Right. So Ezra resoundingly says modify. He gets that one right.
And that type of question is in the first half of?
That type of question will be in the first half. Okay. Yep. The only thing you do with the computer on is making the videos. Cool? So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to ask you. So FTP interface. Also, formatting your hard drive, right? So what are the steps to format your hard drive? Step 1.
You plug it in.
Step 2.
Once it is on the desktop or wherever, you go to disk utility.
You go to disk utility. Step 3. Step.
No, I was just saying utilizing this. I know it's not that. So I'm not, you're not putting me on the spot.
Step 3. Okay, so let's walk through the steps.
So is that something that we like just have to remember? Wouldn't it be kind of like if you click on this utility, you get like options and click on those?
I mean, I might ask you which application would you go to format your hard drive. You know, I'm not going to go through like all the different stuff, but I do want you to know the steps because you have to format your hard drive throughout life. You know, so okay, so you go to applications, utilities, then you go to disk utility. Hello. Then you select your hard drive, you go to the erase tab, you format it to exFAT, you name that bad boy, and you hit erase. Cool?
One more time.
So you go to applications, then utilities. Then do you want me to do it again, or do you just want me to, is it okay if I verbalize it?
Yeah, just slowly.
Okay, so you go to applications, scroll down to utilities, then you double click on disk utility. Your hard drive will come up on the left. You select the hard drive icon. You click on the erase tab. You format it. exFAT is formatted, it allows it to be compatible with all the computers, or if you just want it to be a Mac or Windows for whatever reason, that's up to you. Then you name it, and then you click on erase. And then you'll have to hit erase again. I will not do that because I need the stuff on my flash drive. Cool? Anybody else want me to repeat that? Okay, so you all should know how to format the hard drive, setting the scratch disk. How do you set, does anyone need me to go through how to set your, yes, sir?
Oh, no. I think you were
Okay, how would you set the scratch disk? Take it away.
You go to System Preferences, correct?
You go to where?
Final Cut Pro.
Yes.
You go to System Settings.
Yes, sir.
Then you go to Set.
Yes, sir.
And then you set it to whatever you have the thing to.
Yes. So you set it to your hard drive and in a folder.
And you do that for all of them.
For waveform, thumbnail, and autosave.
Oh, yeah.
And then I may or may not ask you, yes, sir.
No, see, I know how to do this, but I don't necessarily remember waveform, thumbnail, and autosave. We need
Then
to
you
know those.
fail. It's done. It's okay. The biggest thing is that I want you to know which menu item you would go to set your scratch disk.
Yeah, like you're not going to view to set your scratch disk. You need to go to.
Exactly.
Final
You're not
Cut
going
Pro.
to view, you're
Or
going to the
sequence.
Final Cut Pro tab. Yeah. And what is a scratch disk? Why do you need to set your scratch disk?
So Final Cut Pro knows where to save everything.
So Final Cut Pro knows to save everything. Where yeah, your autosave folder, everything. That's what you need to tell Final Cut Pro where to save everything. Perfect. You all are brilliant, brilliant, brilliant people. Okay. Please tell me you know how to import your file. Anyone here not know? I feel like I would have failed you. Nope.
But see, the only thing is, are we gonna, when you do
Do you want me
the,
to show you how to import the file? Oh, okay, you're joking. Yes.
when we do the quiz, I'm sorry, cause I missed that part. When we do the, is it handwritten quiz, or you're gonna tell us to do it and we're gonna show you?
Everything. All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. I'm gonna have you create videos. I'm
She
gonna
wasn't
have you
here
write
when you
some
said
stuff
there was
down.
2 parts.
Yeah, there are 2 parts. There's a written part where your computer will be off, and then you'll have 3 videos that you have to create that have specific requirements to them. Yeah. Good times. Okay. I know. I need to say a test instead of quiz. Is a bit, misleading. It's a test.
It's like a midterm.
Sure. Yeah. We'll say
Yeah.
yeah. Sure. Quiz, test, exam. Aren't they all the same thing?
No. Not in the least.
You better go put it I'm worried about this.
All right, I'll change it on the syllabus midterm. But yeah. So it's really not going to be that big of a deal. I mean, anyway. Importing files, creating new sequence bins and subclips. How do you create a new sequence bin and subclip? How do you create a new sequence? Where do I go to? File new sequence. That's also where you create a new bin. And how do I make a subclip?
Modify.
Let me import a file real quick. Our good old monk footage. Oops. Where's our monk footage? All right. So I got my good old monk footage. So what do I do to make a subclip?
Double click.
I double clicked.
Now I and O for your
Before that.
before that.
I first have to move my cursor to where I want the beginning
Oh.
of the subclip to be. Right?
That's what I meant with I and O. So like while you're tracking through the video, you hit I for your beginning, your end.
Okay, so I move my subclip to where I want it to be. In the beginning, I hit I move it to where I want it to be at the end, I hit O, and then I go to modify and make subclip or command U. If you know the keyboard shortcut, you can put that down.
Okay,
That's
I'll
fine.
do that.
That is fine. Yeah, that is fine. So command U or go to modify, make subclip. Yes, sir.
What's the purpose of creating a sequence in a bin?
Why would you create a sequence in a bin? So a sequence is a new timeline. And so maybe if you want, so like a lot of times if you have like a longer piece, like a longer video, you have many scenes, instead of having all of that on a
But just
timeline,
one
you might
whole
want to
long
break it up.
timeline, you're breaking it
And a
up.
bin is with the folder in the browser. So you might have a lot of clips, you want to put some of your clips in one folder. So
Okay.
if you have clips and subclips that are all the same camera angle, you might want to put it in a folder that's labeled that camera angle. Did you have a question?
Yeah, can't you also just drag and drop it for some things?
Drag and, you can also drag and drop it, yep.
We can do that too.
So you could, hey!
Thanks to this vlog.
Y'all don't know him. He's just coming in. He's in another section. So yeah, you can also drag, so you can, once you make your in and out points, you can also drag it from the viewer into the timeline. Right? So you can drag it into the viewer to the timeline, you can hit Command U, or you can go to modify, make subclip. Got that action? There are 3 ways to do this. I'll put Aiden on the spot next time.
I have a question. If you drag something into the timeline, create it on the graph.
And so, no, it does not. And so it's all up to you what you want to do, right? If you want to save all your subclips because you might use them again, you can go ahead and do Command U or modify make subclip. But if it's just a temporary thing, you just want to check it out real quick, then you can just drag it. So that is a good point that not Ezra, but Vera made, and that Vera made, right? So if you drag it from the viewer into the timeline, it does not save it as a subclip in the browser. Anybody want me to repeat that?
Yes, all of it.
So what exactly? How to make a subclip?
Sure.
Okay, so you have your clip and you want to move your cursor to the beginning of where you want your subclip to be. And then you hit I. And then you want to move your cursor to where you want the end of the subclip to be. And then you hit O. Once you have your in and out points, which are signified by these 2 blue lines, right, in the viewer, you can drag it from the viewer into the timeline, but you notice the subclip is not saved in the browser, right? Or once you have your in and out points, right, you can go to modify make subclip, and then it's saved to the browser, and you can name it whatever you want, right? Subclip 1. And so now it's saved in the browser, and you can go back to it. Or you can hit Command U, as a keyboard shortcut. But when you drag it from the viewer to the timeline, it is not saved in the browser. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes, thank you.
No problemo.
I'm not gonna be so specific as to tell you, you gotta move the cursor to go where you started, right?
Yeah, you do.
But I don't do that. I just took one.
I mean, you have to at least let me know, how do you get to the beginning of your endpoint? So if you hit play and then you just wait until it gets to the beginning of the endpoint, that's fine, just write that down. Yeah, well, however you get to the beginning, it's all up to you. So, subclips versus sequences. Okay, so this is important because people got this confused last semester. I may or may not have you identify what is a subclip, a sequence, and a clip, right? The icon with the ridges is a subclip, right? This blue and yellow icon is an actual sequence. This is your timeline. The solid blue line is a clip, right? And it's important to know the difference, right? There were people last semester who were making sequence timelines and thinking they were subclips.
What exactly is this sequence?
The timeline.
Okay, so it's everything that's on there?
Everything that's on there, yep.
On that one time.
On that one timeline.
So you got like
multiple
sequence
times.
2, and then it's like
Then
See what's the
completely.
sequence one? It's just one tab. You go ahead and one time.
So if I create a new sequence and double click on it, it's a completely new timeline. Cool? Okay, any questions about that? So I may have a still shot of Final Cut Pro interface with a whole bunch of stuff in the browser and have you identify what they are. May or may not.
I got some clip defined as a sliceable clip. I got the sequence defined as a timeline. What should I define as a clip?
Aiden, how would you define clip?
Clip is sort of just like the larger version of a subclip, I guess, like a subclip that's taken from a clip.
That's the media. Is it
What
media?
we gonna need to know? Then I might say.
The subclip's just the smaller condensed one.
Yeah, the subclip's extraction.
I didn't want to say that the clip was just a bigger one.
You can't define something based on something else.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Well,
right.
when you look at it.
Right. I'm looking at I'm a dictionary. I don't know how to do it. Okay, so linking and unlinking, right? So how do you link or how do you unlink?
Press that green
With
button,
that,
You can press this green middle button, or you can do what?
or you can go to
do right click and
Yeah,
and
right,
You
link.
gotta differentiate between the global link and the local link.
You right click.
Right click.
Right click.
Right, you have to remove the audio, right?
Never
just
model-
use these
modify.
lock
Wait, are we trying to?
That's another tedious way where you like just lock it and now you can move like, the sounds separate from.
But there are other-
You can go and
there's
edit.
a really
and
easy
then
way.
Edit and then
Just to
click
click.
link selection and click it off.
Oh yeah.
Like highlight that selection and then.
Command L is also another one.
It says the update on it.
It's Command L.
The location thing.
How much you want that?
Let's see.
Okay.
Shift L.
Is it really? Oh my gosh.
How much
No.
control is inside that?
Well done. So Shift L. Shift L. Shift L. Shift L.
You gotta differentiate between mobile and.
No.
We were unlinking the audio.
You're unlinking the audio from the video. So
Oh,
you
I
can
thought
go
we
to
were-
Shot Shift L, you can go to modify and then,
I thought we were unlinking the stereo.
no, you're unlinking the audio from the video. So you can go modify and then you can check or uncheck link, right? You could click on this middle button, you can hit Shift L. Now that is different from unlinking the stereo pair, as what Ezra was saying,
Yeah.
right? And so that is when you unlink the left from the right audio. And how would you do so?
You can like the audio
Yeah,
and then.
you're right.
You can press the green button again.
That doesn't unlink.
Not that green button, the.
It's almost like
third
mobile.
button.
looks like a number.
Yeah, it's like a. Yeah, like a video sign. I got
The
it.
global link on the right side. Oh,
The green thing,
yeah, this one, okay.
It does it for everything.
But that unlinks, that's the,
But that, yeah,
we're talking about the stereo.
we're talking
pair.
about the stereo.
I got it.
So you can go, there's something in
That
the,
one unlinks everything.
you can also go to a particular menu item. What were you gonna say?
Single click on the audio track, and then you go to modify.
Yes.
And then you uncheck.
Yes, repeat that, please.
Yes,
Repeat it,
please,
I will
repeat
only
it.
do this once, alright?
Take it away.
You single click on the audio track, then you go to modify, then you uncheck stereo pair option.
Right, so this link button is, it links the audio from the video, but it doesn't unlink the stereo pair.
You know what that shortcut button said? It was like crazy how it would.
Wait, what shortcut button?
For the stereo pair. I had one, but I don't know what that. I don't know the accent that.
I never understood what that meant.
I think it's Command L.
Is that command?
Command L.
You sure?
Yeah, if you look at the command and then.
It is Command L. There we go.
So not shift down?
So Shift L is to unlink the video from the audio. Command L is to unlink the stereo pair. Or you can go to modify and then uncheck stereo pair. Right? So when you click on this little middle, this link button, this link selection button, it only unlinks the video from the audio, not the stereo pair. Yes, sir.
I didn't have Final Cut Pro open before, but I just tried to open it, and it's like it's like with the scratch disc. Like in the beginning, it's like quitting itself. I don't remember how you.
Oh, when
like,
it opens and shuts down.
yes.
You have to
The
delete your
user preferences. There's a. Is there a
Paper's
sheet?
right there.
Right here.
Where's the paper? Oh yeah, can you pass them the paper? Thank you. Cool. Okay, any questions about linking and unlinking? Okay, creating new tracks. How do you create a new track? There are a couple ways.
Right click in the gray area?
Yes, the solid gray area, you can add a track that way, right?
Audio, you have to do it on the bottom, right?
Yep, or you can just go ahead and you can drag the clip in there in the solid gray area and it'll create a new track. Cool. I do want to repeat, if you know some keyboard shortcuts, use them. I'm old school and I do things the hard way. So, you know, use them if you want to. Cool, anybody want me to repeat how to add track?
Yes, ma'am.
You right click in the gray, solid gray area.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
For both audio and video. Or you can drag and clip into the gray area and it automatically creates a new track. Cool? Yes, sir.
If it's okay, I'm recording the lecture and I'll upload it to YouTube if anyone needs it later on.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Okay.
That's great, yeah.
Well, thanks make me feel bad, because I'm recording it too, but I wasn't thinking about y'all.
Yeah,
Making me feel
Oh,
bad.
look at you. Okay, so zooming in and out. So zooming in and out of your timeline, right? You can use this scroll bar here, and it zooms in. Or you can pull it out, and it zooms out.
It would have been really good to know when I was like mixing like people's words and having to say different things. And I look back, always just like, okay, when does he say come? When does he say come?
I said this
Where are you
though.
uploading?
I don't know if we use command minus.
I'm just gonna upload it straight to her channel.
Command minus and command plus.
I like
Okay.
it better that way.
Oh, you like it better? Okay, cool. Command plus to zoom in, command minus to zoom out, or you can go ahead and stretch out this toolbar. I feel like if you stretch out the toolbar, you have a little bit more control.
It probably goes by the same increment. Because it only goes, it's not like free scroll with the scroll bar, it's with increments.
But it's smaller increments with the scroll bar though. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's
So I think it's all about
smaller
preference. Smaller increments with the scroll bar.
bigger to get up on your hotkeys.
I need to get up on my hot keys. But you know, I don't like them. I'm pretty comfortable. Like
It
the
doesn't
old
matter,
school
you're
way.
teaching.
I like it. That's good. That's good. Thank you. So you can also zoom in and out here as well in the canvas, right? So this is the different percentages. It does not change the aspect ratio of the actual video, right? It just zooms in and zooms out. Cool. Cropping, right? There are a couple ways that you can crop. How can I crop?
Crop tool.
You can use the crop tool, right? So the crop tool is the second to last one down, and you can go ahead and crop like so. What's another way that you can crop?
Wait, can you do the crop like so again?
So it's when you click on the second to last button, which is the crop tool, and you move your cursor to the edge. You have to make sure your wireframe is on. And then you just drag. Or actually, I'm sorry, you don't have to make sure your wireframe is on. You can do it without your wireframe.
Wait, so the two ways are actually clicking it and like,
Nope, the second way is what? What would be the second
the
one?
second way is the using the crop tool.
What would be the, no, what, no. That's the first way.
That's the
You
first
make
one?
it
Oh, we didn't do the second
bigger
way?
No, not yet.
than the
Oh,
frame.
I guess you can make it bigger and then move it around.
You can make it bigger, move it over. You can go to the motion tab in the viewer, and there's a crop. You click on the crop menu, and this gives you a much more precise cut, right? I don't know, give it whatever variable you want.
But if you crop it, then how do you make it refill the frame?
You would have to crop it and then resize it, right? And you have to crop it and resize it, and then you have to image, kind of do the image degrading. Yeah, because when you crop it and you see the black space, that black space is actually what the viewer will see as well. Yeah.
Only one way is necessary. It's when you test it.
The only one way. Yeah. Cool? And so just by doing it this way, the old school way, it is more precise. I will say that. It is more precise. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say that.
You were not.
I was not.
Right.
I was gonna keep it in mind.
Okay. You will need to know how to use the pen tool. How do you use the pen tool?
Oh, on the pen, over there, to the right.
What is that called? That thing?
This one?
That toolbar?
Well, I mean, the first thing you
This-
have to,
Yeah, is there a name for that whole like list of work?
This is the toolbar.
Well, the
Yeah.
first thing you have to do to use it is click all the way.
Absolutely.
That thing, and then you click on the pen.
And then you use the pen tool. You have to make sure your audio levels are showing, right? And then you use the pen tool. And after your audio levels are showing, you can use the pen tool and click along this magenta line or pink line or whatever you call it. Once you create your dot, you move your cursor over the dot until you see the plus sign, and you can drag it up or drag it down, however you so desire. Drag it up.
The pen tool for anything else?
You can also use it for the video tool, for the video track, and you can create a manual fade, right? So just like that. You can also use the pen tool. You can use the pen tool in the viewer as well, if you'd rather do that as opposed to in the timeline.
Oh, I never knew that.
Cool?
What's that one more time? How do you get to that?
So I just double clicked the audio track and it shows up in the viewer.
Okay.
I click on the pen tool, and I go ahead and I do my thing.
Okay, so it's kind of just like a zoomed in.
Yeah, exactly.
You double click in the time I'm going to talk to you, right?
Anything you double click in the time is going to come up in the viewer. Yep.
Should be like a command.
Say that again?
Should be like a command.
It should be a
That
command.
which is double click and the viewer shall appear.
Okay. Okay, so then you have your pen tool, your craft tool. You also have your razor tool. Obviously, this is an important tool. You click on it, you make your cuts, right? If your video and audio tracks are unlinked and you make a cut, it will only cut the video track or only cut the audio track. If they are linked, then the one cut you make will cut through the video and audio track. Yes, sir.
For the audio project, after I edit my clips and snap them together, would you recommend that I lock video footage and then unlock the audio footage so I can edit around the audio?
Why do you need video footage for the audio project?
I thought we had the option of using video as well.
Did you all know that? I said that.
Yeah, then why would it be an audio
No,
project?
I thought you wanted us to mess around with the audio with certain footage and add clips to it.
No video. No, it's just purely audio.
Okay. Just a 1 minute of audio.
Yeah. Does that totally screw you up?
Man, I put so much effort into my work. Damn.
You know what?
Save the whatever you're working
Yeah,
on.
you should say whatever you're working on.
Okay.
The same to
Okay. Anybody else unclear about it not being?
Thank you for the clarification.
No problem. Okay, so yeah, just audio, please. And so, no, I don't want to say that. Okay, so the razor blade all tool, what that does is that if you have multiple tracks stacked on top of each other, then you use the razor blade all tool, you make one cut, and it slices through all the tracks. Cool? Anybody want me to repeat that? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my regular razor tool.